Last time I talked about how mining towns in the Black Hills of Dakota destroyed Indian burial sites, and today I'm going to be talking about probably one of the saddest events in American history. Not for the white settlers because they don't care, but looking back on history, the destruction of Indian culture and the Indian way of life is truly, it's kind of a sad, it's like one of those sad stories you see on telly, but it's kind of fun to learn about. So, obviously, with the mining towns, Red Cloud and other Indian leaders went to the American government and said, stop this now. And he was like, okay. And they were like, okay, we will stop this, just name your price. And Red Cloud was very, very cunning with this. He said, $600 million US. Something that the Americans couldn't actually afford. So they said, we can't do that, mate. I'm sorry, we can't. And they were like, so this means war. Now, in the past, we've had two Treaty of Fort Laramies, both of which were meant to secure Indian sovereignty, but both of which were broken by the white settlers. But now the Indians were fighting for true sovereignty. Now, the real destruction of Indian culture comes at one battle and one massacre. Well, it's sort of two massacres, one battle. Obviously, you got the Battle of Little Bighorn, which was Sitting Bull and his tribe of Sioux versus General George Custer and his men. Now, the nights before, Sitting Bull had a vision which could have been induced either by taking wacky backy or by inducing extreme pain. And he envisioned the Indians having a victory over the white man, and that would come at Little Bighorn. But Sitting Bull didn't see it as a victory. But it was an Indian victory. Everyone calls it General Custer's last stand. But to be honest, it's more of Sitting Bull's last stand. Now, he flees Canada, and in 1890, the true destruction comes at the Massacre of Wounded Knee. A tribe of Indians just sat around the fire, here, the hooves of horses running their way. It's an American battalion coming to massacre them all. Not one Indian was left alive. This pointed out to all Indian tribes that there was no rebuilding. There was no chance to go back to the original way of life. And so most of them done what the white man asked. And they said, you are to get onto reservations or be declared enemies of the nation. You will do as we tell you. You will eat what we tell you to eat. And we'll see if you get out on good behaviour. Now, I did talk a couple of videos back about just the sheer interestingness of the Indian culture. How exciting it was, how enthusiastic I was to learn about it. And now it's all gone. In 70 years of expansion into the West, the Indians have gone from perfect to nothing. And that's why I said at the beginning, it's kind of like one of those sad stories you see on the television. Because it started off all so happy, but then people came in and controlled them. And even today, less than 5% of the population, of the American population, are true American Indians. Who knows how many could have been if they had just let the Indians get on the way they were. We could maybe see 10, 15, maybe even 20%. But that's going to leave it. That's going to end the part where I talk about the American West. Obviously, I will go back and cover more in-depth things like the Mormons and the California Gold Rush. But I am continuing on with American history until the end of this series, and then I don't know what I'm going to do. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you don't want to miss a single history video on this channel, and I will see you next time for, well, I've already covered it in a series, but I might as well just do a quick overview of the American side of the war to end all wars.